Are
Yep.
we? Are
And
we?
this is the And Go podcast. Thank you for joining us for this special live stream, even though no one's watching yet. I hope they come in flocks. But today, our
Hmm.
And Go will be talking about the age old question of PC versus console players. Guys, and go.
What do you think, Mike?
Well, okay. So both have their merits. Uh, Consoles obviously more accessible. You buy the thing once, and then you can play the games.
PC,
With
you have to constantly upgrade, it seems like.
Yeah, there's definitely that aspect to it, which is I feel like it goes in the pro and con column because you can customize your experience a little more with the PC, but then you have to like update your drivers and fucking know what you're doing a little bit in terms of putting the hardware in and calibrating it and all that good stuff.
Yes, not any idiot 5-year-old to 12-year-old can get on Fortnite and just beat your ass and call you a whole bunch of names.
So there's that aspect of it. Um, Quality, I feel like the games are there on both.
Yeah, there's
So,
some
like-
console exclusives, but Bill, go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where do you fall on that side of the fence? Like, you console or PC guy? Like,
I'm a PC guy. I'm a PC
Yeah.
Master Race guy.
yeah, that's what I thought. I knew you had a couple of consoles, but I was pretty sure that you were in the PC camp.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just a lowly pleb from, the suburbs of DC and Baltimore, so console is the way us in the near ghetto like to roll.
Yeah, I was definitely consoles myself.
Grew up in the same neighborhood. Laurel
Yep.
must have been so much more high end.
Yeah, and anyone that knows Laurel knows it's super bougie.
Oh, yes. Especially West Laurel. But let's not get into local politics. Let's talk about games.
Fuck West Laurel. Excuse me, sorry. I had a little tickle there in my throat.
You have coronavirus?
More like crow-a-lot virus.
We're like, fuck West Laurel virus.
Okay, thank you for dropping that bomb on us. But the game-wise, what do you think game-wise is better? Me personally, Dark Souls is hard to play on a PC. You need a controller to play that game in any well regards. I mean, there are some talented people who can play it on a keyboard and mouse, but there's also people who can beat it on with a Guitar Hero controller.
If only you could plug a controller into a computer.
Yeah, I was just about to say
You
a lot of
can.
that has changed now with being able to use controllers on on a PC.
And you can use the keyboard on consoles.
Yeah,
Things have evolved, gentlemen. Welcome to the 2020s.
that was definitely like a historical issue, though.
Yeah.
About
Yes.
before you had that ability to use a controller, there were a lot of games that were far more difficult. But I also think there's games that, in my opinion, are probably better, arguably on PC. Shooters, no doubt, are easier with a mouse. Although I will say the movement with the keyboard is clunky. So without the advent of some specialty thing, I think that's kind of a split. RTSs I've always liked better on PC though.
Absolutely agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. It kind of depends on what game you're playing. Fighting games,
Yeah.
obviously, going to be better. And another thing that the console has going for it is, you're plugging it into your TV. It's a little harder to get, that big screen experience on
With
PC.
the PC.
Yeah.
I can't get that surround sound, Guitar Hero, rock out vibe.
That's the other thing. The couch experience is hard to replace with a PC. I have a lot of good memories of playing Guitar Hero, in Bill's basement.
Yeah.
We were doing Diablo 3 on Xbox for a while. That was a lot of fun. Just 4 people sitting on a couch, gaming it up, making some memories,
I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and say that all the PC only guys are just trying to mask the fact that they have no friends,
Which is true.
but I'm not going to sit here and say it.
I hate to come to the PC defense, but they get a lot more games. The Steam store is just not available on consoles yet. And that's got a wide variety of games of admittedly middling quality. There's great games that are on Steam, and there's some that just really, really suck. But you go to the PlayStation Store, I'm sure even the Xbox Store, you'll find those crappers that are trying to sell for $2, which you're like, I don't want to spend any money on that.
Yeah, I was going to say consoles have their own marketplace where have a lot of those games too, though. And with, if you're talking about the whole world of consoles, you have a lot of exclusives that just were never available on PC until you start getting into emulators and things like that.
Yeah.
Wish I could get some emulators for some of my Ten Shingami games, but I'm always worried that they're full of viruses and crap like that.
So you really think about it, a lot of the gaps have been closed in both directions. Because it used to be one of the biggest things with PC was being able to play online. But then, with Xbox Live and then PlayStation Network, they kind of closed that gap a lot.
Yeah.
And then, like we said, being able to use the controllers like on the PC kind of closed that little area. And, so there's kind of been a back and forth of like making the gaming experience, more universal. I will say now, the one thing that is kind of cool with PC gaming is like mods. When you're playing a game, being able to have access to mods and like commands and stuff to fix bugs right on the spot.
Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. Fallout New Vegas has some excellent mods if you ever get that for the PC. Even I think Fallout 3 has some good mods. Fallout 4, Bethesda's a whole bunch of bitches. I swear the modding community should just be like, we're not going to mod for your game because you're a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, the modding, that's a good point.
But that also brings up a good point. One thing that I do hate about the Steam model is these sneaky corporate entities. Of course, I would go on a rant about this, like the Epic Game Store and EA. It just is fucking ridiculous that they got a few good games that are exclusive to them, but they just open their own store for that bullshit, and that just fucking pisses me off, not to mention microtransactions. Let me not get on that little rant. We're talking about PC versus consoles.
Well, to kind of piggyback on that and to go back a little bit, one thing that's very unappealing to me about console gaming is and PlayStation Network didn't have this problem until they did, where I'm already paying for internet, and now I have to pay for Xbox Gold or whatever, Xbox Live, to be able to play online. Especially since, like the Xbox I have is the all-digital one, so I can't even get a disc and pop it in there,
Mm-hmm.
That's a little
Sucker.
frustrating. That's a little frustrating.
I'm sure.
So you don't have that problem with Steam, You don't have to spend a dime to download Steam, and then you have access to all these games, and you can, wait for sale.
Steam is, as I said, I love Steam. You got the Papers, Please. You got these indie crowd pleasers. He also did some weird. The same person who did Papers, Please did a really cool little, black and white. Go back, view the past. Does anyone know the name of that?
No. What is it? A vignette or something?
Oh. Continue. I'm gonna look it up because it's gonna bother me.
I don't like, personality-wise, I don't like the hatred on either side of the aisle. We're all gamers.
Yeah, it has their place. Although I will say that for the most part, from my experience, that usually comes more from the PC side.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
It's Return of the Obro Dinger. Neither one of you guys heard about that?
Nope.
Okay, that was. I guess I follow Yahtzee, and he is a sucker for some of these indie developed games. Black and white. You go back. You're investigating the return of a ship after missing many years, It's just a cool thing created by a single person. This is also what we're losing in these massive AA developments. Is you have these oversight teams just focus testing all these games out the wazoo, so they're generally supposed to be mass appeal, but you have no niche market. The games I think are suffering. What do you guys think about that? And a lot of the smaller companies sort of are following suit with the companies also.
Yeah, it does seem like game design by number a little bit.
Yeah.
But it sells. People buy it. So that's why.
Yeah.
It's kind of all media right now.
Yeah,
Think
true.
about it. Movies, everything is just all remakes, all following the same design. They find something that does well and they just do it to death.
Yeah.
Oh, brainwashing of the world.
I prefer like Grand Theft Auto on console.
Yeah.
Just to go back to the depends on what you're playing conversation.
Yeah. I mean, if you went back, 15, 20 years, I would say console all the way. I mean, I tried to get into I've been, I've dabbled with PC gaming here and there. We played Counter-Strike and stuff like that. And the price thing was definitely a big deal. Because, I mean, I never could understand when people argue the other direction. Is you buy a console, you spend a couple $100, and you're good for, 5-6 years? The console, the life of the console. And you don't have to worry about will my Nintendo or whatever play this particular Nintendo game. But with PC, it seemed like when I got into it, like every 6 months I had to like upgrade my video card and a bunch of other stuff in order to make the game run smoothly. I mean, you could like turn down all the settings and stuff like that, to get it to work sometimes, but it was a hassle. Really had to like keep up with it,
Yeah. I got Final Fantasy XI, as you know, from our talks, and knowing me, I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy, at least till 13, that garbage turn-based, weird, convoluted storyline came out. But enough about 13. I tried to buy the PC version of 11, Final Fantasy Online.
Mm-hmm.
It would not play on the computer I had, and I was so pissed. I put it in the system, it was downloading, and like halfway through it was an error. I tried to download it on someone else's computer, but I was a dumb kid back then, probably like 19 or 20, dumb kid. But still, that sort of shit, I'm sure that doesn't happen as much. The GameStop, where we used to work, all of us, I think, at some point, didn't tell me it wouldn't play on my PC. Talk about a sinking garbage shit. GameStop is going down.
Good.
Mike probably has the least vengeance for it, and he's still probably like, probably a good thing.
Yeah, I'm not going to be too upset. Mainly because I heard what your experiences were like, and I don't even remember. I think the last time I went to a GameStop, I had a gift card or something, and I think that's when I got Fallout 3, actually. Or Fallout 4? No, it was Fallout 4. Yeah.
Not that ancient. Fallout 3. How old is it now?
Oh, goodness. It's getting up there now.
I really don't know.
Old enough to buy beer, almost.
I think, my computer doesn't even have, like, a CD drive, but I am a little bummed that so many consoles are going to the digital-only model. That you can't just, my internet's down. Why can't I just pop in a disc or whatever, pop in a cartridge and have a good time? And now I got to wait for, like, I downloaded Grand Theft Auto a couple weeks ago, and it took like 7 hours or something. And I have pretty good internet,
Yeah.
So I don't really, that's frustrating.
And plus, even when you're trying to keep the entirety of the game on the hard drive, even with these terabyte hard drives and stuff, it still fills up really quickly. There's no way I could get my entire library on there without
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta keep deleting stuff to bring
Yeah.
new stuff, and patches come in, and
Yep.
patches stay in cycle because you don't have enough memory. Then you gotta go delete more because patches put more
Hmm.
data in.
Yeah.
It's just an endless cycle of bullshit.
And it opens the door to like these developers that put out a game, and day one there's a massive patch that you have to
Yeah.
download.
Yeah.
Yes, Fallout 76 is just complete garbage. I wanted to defend it at first. Don't be like, I'm sure they'll update it. We might get an update that might make it playable next month. Maybe. I don't trust Bethesda anymore. Before, after Fallout 4, I was a faithful fanboy of them, but they just did too much shady shit.
Yeah, and the response was hilarious.
You don't want a
S-
new Diablo game on mobile? No, we want a real Diablo game.
Do you not have phones? Do you guys not have phones? That's the best. But I mean, also gamers are fucking whiny anyway, as a
That was
whole.
Blizzard, but
Yeah.
Blizzard, Bethesda, they're going down the same fucking dumbass rabbit hole.
Speaking of Japan, I feel like Japan fits nicely into this conversation.
Their developers are starting to go a little down from what I know. I think the Kojima game, Death Stranding, is a good example of that. I mean, his games are good, but Death Stranding, I do not want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. I mean, I respect that it's created with a single vision, an auteur, but the gameplay sounds non-existent. It's interactive movie. It's fucking who did Two Souls, or David Lynch, who does pretty much video Heavy Rain, Two Souls, Quantum Break. They're pretty. They're pretty much what is it called? Interactive movies and not games. But I don't have a problem with it. It's just it's for a certain audience. I understand that. And the same indie developers have the same thing with what we call walk-in simulators.
Yeah, Death Stranding looked like a fun game to me. I like the idea. I like the gameplay from what I've seen, but the outlandish storyline is kind of where it loses me a little bit. Yeah, I kind of like the whole
looks
transporting.
clunky. I mean, it probably fits a niche market, which I actually do respect that it's doing something different, but it's not, from what I know, it's not very scary, even though it's trying to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't realize
There's
it was
no
supposed
real
to be
threat in it. I mean, it has an interesting death mechanic, from what I hear. When you kill human beings, they like blow up and reincarnate.
Hmm.
That's what I hear about it. Not for me. I respect it. I was using that as a segue onto walking simulators in reality. I mean, I respect auteurs of films, even films. I make games, any medium pretty much, but I don't know where its place in gaming is. See, I was coming in here expecting to talk about our video games art, so this is probably why I'm in this mindset. So I'll let someone else take the floor. Please do before I go on and on.
I'll save you. I have a lot
Thank
of
you, Mike. My hero.
going back to I feel like PC gaming, since a lot of PC gamers don't have actual friends, there's usually a pretty good community aspect to PC gaming. I mean, I have people that I talk to regularly that I've never met in real life, mainly because okay, I almost got a little worked up there, because there was an event, a professional Counter-Strike match in Ohio, where a lot of my gaming friends lived at the time, and I came into the Discord one day, hey guys, what's going on? Oh, not much, can't wait for this meetup in a week or whatever. And I was like, what meetup? Said like they made these plans to go to the thing without me, and then like tickets were sold out. And I'm still salty
Yeah.
about it to this day, and I give them shit for it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we've done Secret Santa, stuff like that. So I do like that, I mean, we've just hung out on Discord before and fucking chatted. So I do like the community aspect of PC gaming, and I feel like I don't know if you really get that with console.
Yeah,
No,
Bill.
but you get the multiplayer. Sit like you said before, sit around with your buddies and in the living room.
But do you create
Yeah.
bonds with people online? I haven't personally.
Back when I was playing, a lot of shooters, you would often, run into the same people. And there was a couple of people that I picked up as friends on like Xbox Live. We played like Rainbow Six and Call of Duty and stuff like that quite frequently.
Sure.
I guess I'm just the wee boob among our bunch. I've tried it a few times, but it just hasn't worked out for me. Anyone I know in real life, occasionally if they like World of Warcraft, I'll try playing with them if I know them in real life. My nephew, my friend from college, even my wife, we play together.
Aw.
But other than that, I can't make internet friends.
It's a skill.
Maybe socializing is not my forte.
Man, I just realized I've been making internet friends since I was like
You're an internet whore, Mike. Have you
11
accepted
years
that
old.
fact? It probably is a
I-
skill. It probably is a skill that I haven't developed. Bill's developed it more because he's a businessman.
What is with this businessman thing?
That's
really
been
latched
your,
onto this idea, haven't you?
well, you are. You run your own business since you were what? 10?
Yeah, something like that. One or another, yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're small businesses, but you
How do you think I got the video games, right?
exactly okay. I came over to your house to play good video games because I was poor and was a freaking hyperactive freak as a kid. But enough about me. We're here
Old
about the
business
video
Bill.
games.
Yeah, right.
old
I think we should also, for this
O'Neill
video,
old
preface
wealthy
it-
William over here.
some of the best games explain some of the best games and why, since our top 10 all-time games. Like, did
I
we
think
even
it's-
put any PC games on that list, or were they all console? Except for
Counter-Strike.
That's a
Counter-Strike.
great point. Yeah, Counter-Strike I think is the only one we eked on there.
Yeah.
Me and Bill dominated that list a little. Sorry, we're console plebs.
No. I'm happy with how it turned out. I think Dave, shout out Dave in the comments, had a
Chrono
good
Trigger.
one.
I
Chrono
agree.
Trigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with especially Resident Evil 4 being number one. I'm fine.
Yeah,
with
I'm
that.
good. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty good with that.
Didn't that get delayed on PC because of Xbox? I'm sorry, GameCube's exclusive 6 months.
I think so. GameCube, by the way, is my favorite all-time console.
Really?
Yeah.
It's definitely underrated.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that is just my love for the controller.
Well, for
and
all
I'm
the
not a Smash
plebs
guy.
out there, who wants to explain Resident Evil 4? Or why it's so awesome? Sure, it's so awesome, everyone should know the storyline, but why do we think it was so good?
Bill, you want to start?
It's kind of the total experience. It had a good storyline. It had good gameplay. Like everything ran pretty smooth, so it didn't feel clunky. Because some of those, I think those zombie shooters get kind of, the shooting aspect and the moving got clunky.
And Leon is probably the only character I could cosplay as. My sweeping hair.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a perfect
Or like
cocktail.
Or,
Yeah,
sorry,
you're
or
dead on Shaggy.
Yeah.
If I shave, I could pull off a decent Leon. Not as pretty, of course. I'm the ugly, messed up version later in life.
But do you think Resident Evil 4 was the perfect culmination of you had a beloved character in Leon,
Mm-hmm.
a storied franchise that people were gonna, be excited about regardless, and then, to your point, fixed, in my opinion, what was the biggest problem with Resident Evil, which was the controls. It was very clunky for a long time.
Yeah,
The fixed
the way
camera also
the
had its
camera. That's what I was
issues.
gonna say. Yeah, having to constantly like walk toward the camera half the time and stuff like that. So they fixed a lot of that with Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, visually it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I feel like it holds up even today. Um, and the shooting was the best in any Resident Evil. The story was compelling enough, but still, kind of silly, but whatever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a zombie game.
It's a zombie game, yeah.
Same thing with all the Link games, and we still rated that pretty high. Does what game PC games really have a legacy like Legend of Zelda? There's Oregon Trail. They haven't tried doing anything with that. King's Quest, maybe.
Diablo. The Diablo series
Diablo? How long
is a
does
pretty
that
good
go
legacy.
back?
Let's see, when was Diablo 1? I want to say
There's
late
also
90s.
the original Warcraft that was the RTS. I think that probably came after Command and Conquer, but I could be wrong. I wanted to-
1997.
Okay.
Okay.
Still got beat by the console by at least.
Well, yeah,
decade.
obviously. Consoles have been putting out games for longer.
Yeah,
I mean,
but ET almost and Atari almost destroyed the console market. Nintendo saved it.
there's definitely no comparing PC to console in terms of legacy.
Yeah, unfortunately, as I said, you had Oregon Trail. PC was hoity-toity high class, so they tried to make you think, put in commands. Going through Ready Player One, you would think all people love those old, horrible games. Ugh, such a bad.
StarCraft
That's
is
right.
like the national pastime in South Korea
I
still
believe it.
today. Um,
Is it Dota or League of Legends, which is also their probably second favorite?
I don't know. I don't know which.
It's one of those MOBAs.
Yeah.
When I first heard of the MOBA concept, I'm like, this is stupid. When I played it, I'm like, okay, this is still stupid, but it can be enjoyable. And Paragon, God bless Paragon. Someone needs to do something with those fucking assets. Sorry, it was shut down by Fortnite's success. I'm still gonna dwell on that. Save me again, Mike, for my own.
It's interesting how many cues the console makers have taken from PC. I mean, I know it's a computer, but you know what I'm saying. It feels like a lot of
also
this.
can be your lover, Mike. Remember your old chair and your computer.
Let's
Okay.
just
Yes,
not.
let's drop
Let's
it.
not.
Let's
Yeah.
drop it. This is live, so let's try to stay away from any. Keep that in mind.
I mean,
I doubt
I'm
anyone's
watching right
watching.
now. I assume one of you is also watching, so those are our two viewers.
Awesome.
How
How
so I
do I
guess it doesn't really
sound
matter.
like on the stream?
I don't have the audio going
Okay.
because that sounds like a hellish nightmare.
Yes, it'd be echo from hell.
Yeah. I really thought we were going to have more to say on this, to be honest.
Oh,
Yeah, I was expecting a lot more pushback from the PC side from you. Yeah, actually. So.
For the sake of the stream, how about this? Fuck consoles.
oh
PC is
fuck
the
you.
best. We got the best graphics. We got no paywall to play online. We got the best community, baby. Little kids can go put in their mommy's credit card and buy all the fucking fake fish and Fortnite dances they want. PC all day. If I want to go play a baby game, I'll go fucking hop on my Xbox and play Barbie's Adventure World or something. But if I
that's
want to,
more PC style content. They have I will give PCs one thing. They have a wider variety of games. That also means they have a wider variety of shit.
they also have a wide variety of people literally dying at the computer because they want to play more World of Warcraft and don't eat. That's
Yeah.
dedication, baby. That's fucking dedication.
That
The game's
means
so
the
goddamn
PC
good, people are dying. People are
means
taking
that-
it over food, guys.
That means PC master race are really a whole bunch of plebs who are dumb as shit if they're gonna die
Oh,
over a
really?
game.
They're dumb as shit.
If they're dying over a video game, yes, that sounds like the definition of insanity. Okay, you made your case. Let's jump. I sort of just want to lump in the is video games art in this. Let's just get them both out of the way.
Can I get a counterpoint? Can I get a counterpoint to fuck consoles?
A counterpoint to fuck consoles. We already talked about the legacy.
Yeah, I guess.
The accessibility for poorer people. I mean, yeah, you can't really mod it, and you're sort of taking up the ass of your limited selection of games, but that is getting.
I was just hoping to argue with
limited. I don't know though, because you keep saying limited, amount of games, but again, if you go back to the like NES through like Xbox,
to PC.
Oh no, there was way more on console. All the exclusive titles that were made specifically for NES,
but almost
SNES,
no
Sega.
indie developer games. There's plenty of people making free games that you can play. Most of them are shit.
Maybe
as I
now,
said.
Maybe now, but you're talking
Even
about
10 years ago.
Okay, but there's like decades of console video games, and there was tons of indie developers. The library for NES is huge.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you're talking about all of console history versus all of PC history gaming, like, I don't know. There's tons on consoles, tons.
Mike, you want to retort? That was the only point that I had for PCs, is they had more games, and Bill just dismantled that.
Well, I think that, like, first of all, yeah, if you look at the history of gaming, it's not even close. Consoles beat PC in terms of the library that's accessible without the use of an emulator or anything. But nowadays, even with, like, quote, exclusives, eventually it winds up on PC.
Yeah.
Which makes sense for the developer, right? Just broaden the market.
Yeah. I mean, unless it's Nintendo.
Right, true. Yeah. That's a good point, actually. All the Nintendo game, I don't think there's, without an emulator, like a service you can go on. Like all the EA games obviously are cross-platform.
Yeah.
But fuck Origin.
Agreed. Nintendo also. You want to know why I was so hard on them in the top 10? This sort of shit is the same reason I'm hard on Nintendo. Love Zelda. Some of the other games have some value, but overall, fuck Nintendo.
What about the handheld console?
What, the 3DS? That was just like a gimmick. Most of the shit Nintendo came out with over the last 20 years is just gimmick. They can't keep up with Xbox or PlayStation when it comes to actually game-wise.
Sure they can. Breath of the Wild was like the biggest game, one of the biggest games of the last 2 or 3 years.
Yes, one game, and it was Zelda. I vouch for Zelda as a franchise.
Mario Odyssey was one of the biggest games of the last 2 or 3 years.
For kids. Or man babies. Nintendo man babies. I'll give it to you. Not to my taste. I'm sure it's an okay game, but I grew out of that like 20 years ago, maybe.
I'm sorry you're too old to have fun, Brian.
Yeah, right.
I really am.
Go eat some oatmeal.
Yeah, go eat your oatmeal and play your God of War or whatever, and feel like a man. Fucking
your JRPG of the.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take that in stride.
Go play Resident Evil Outbreak.
I've already claimed to.
2.
Oh, Outbreak!
I think
you really want to dismiss me, don't you? Outbreak.
But I think obviously to continue with consoles, not having to upgrade, I think that's a big plus. 5-6 years of not having to do anything, as far as buying more hardware, like I think that's a big plus. The multiplayer aspect, can't really sit there on your PC and play with somebody next to you, So
yeah,
that's always been a big draw for me, being able to play multiplayer. Also, there was something else I was thinking of. I lost it now. But yeah, having the exclusive games on the earlier consoles is a big deal too. And as far as like the indie games too, now you do have Xbox Live and PSN carry a lot of those as well. So that kind of,
I picked up kind of an indie game on Xbox the other day. So yeah, I agree. I think the best point so far was your point earlier, Bill, about they've closed a lot of the gaps.
Yeah. I guess also for a lot of people, I have to add the idea of not being able to sell or trade PC games. I mean, you had one exclusive code. Even when you had disc, back in the disc era, you couldn't trade that in. You couldn't sell it because once you used the code that was with the disc, that was it.
Yeah.
So
Good point.
There is
And
some
if you then
sketchy
lost
stuff
that
with
code,
codes, yeah.
fuck.
Yeah. I've
Which I
even
did
had
several times.
I had one. I went and bought a Command and Conquer, and the code wasn't in the case. I bought it
Wow.
from GameStop or something, and it was
Mhm.
brand new. And I bought it, took it home, opened it up. I don't know if somebody had like opened it and resealed it or something, but code wasn't in there. Spent like half a day arguing with them to give me another code. And I was like, I just spent like $60 on this game, and there was no code inside. It's really frustrating.
Was this GameStop you said?
I think it was, if I remember
Love
right. Yeah,
GameStop
way
again.
back in the day. This is one of the
Amen.
old, like Tiberian Sun Command and Conquers.
Yeah, I think I remember that. So you telling me that story in the past.
Yeah. So that was another big drawback for me was the stupid code thing.
The price of video games kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth too, especially since most of them are all digital now. Like, on the one hand, I get that, I want my favorite developer to do well so that they continue to make good games. But at the same time, why are you charging me the same amount of money when you don't have to produce a physical disc, a booklet, a case, put it in a store?
In distributing it, you're right, putting it in a store, so there's another layer of like retail profit that's got to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Get your, 6 foot tall Marcus Phoenix cardboard cutout to help with the display and all that shit. Why are you still charging me $60 when all I got to do is download this fucking thing?
Then
Definitely
there's
thought the same thing.
microtransactions.
Which are not a PC or console problem. It's
No.
a game problem. at this point.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I blame the PC master race for this. It's just the sort of cucky,
Nah.
clicky, clicker sort of.
No.
shit.
I think what did
I
that,
think it came
what
from that.
did that, I think, is
Facebook
mobile.
bullshit.
It's
Okay.
mobile gaming.
Yeah.
Where
What,
I mean, I
the
remember being in the call center
handheld
talking to
PC?
people. So I remember talking to people in the call center who, their kid had some fish game where you have an aquarium, and their iPad or whatever was linked to their credit card, and the kid just kept buying fish because they didn't fucking know.
Is
And
this
then
what
next
you were
thing
referencing earlier? Yeah.
Yeah. Literally $2,000 in fake fish later, they were trying to dispute the charge. So,
Those
Yeah.
sort of games would not appear on console. Just saying. Don't you agree, Bill? Those sort of games would never appear on console. But you know where
Not
they
usually.
can appear? PC.
well, weren't you the one talking about how good it is that all these indie games are available on PC? So, are you happy that
It's
there's
a
so many indie games?
double-edged blade, okay? I didn't say that as a pro for PC. I was trying to make it a pro. Bill destroyed
then you
that,
talked
and
yourself
I'm
out of it,
destroying
yeah.
it more. Sorry, I'm still the console side.
Sorry.
I'm just the devil's
You
advocate
apologize
for
to yourself?
either side. I apologize for apologizing if that's the case.
And then I think the last time I went to go buy an Xbox controller, it was like $50 or something. I mean, granted, I have like a $120 keyboard, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, how much do you spend on your keyboard and your mouse, right?
I could have not have spent that money and would have been okay. With the controller, like, you need a controller. There's no way around it. You just need this one.
As I said, you can now, a lot of consoles, you can use keyboard and mouse on them.
I tried to hook my keyboard and mouse up to Xbox to play Battlefront or something, and I could not get it to work. I think that was more of a problem
Yay,
with the game, though. Yeah.
That Battlefront 1 or 2 were both garbage. I was disappointed when my wife bought it for me. I'm like, oh, I was excited about this, but then I heard things about it. I guess I'll play it.
So
Shall we switch to the other topic? Or does someone want to continue this weird plea that PC might be what better than console?
at this point,
I'm
I think
not
we all
looking
kind of
at
agree that it's pretty much the same.
At this point, it's gotten pretty close. I don't understand the hate for consoles from the PC side, though. I just don't
Nah,
get
me
it.
neither. I don't
Because
get
they're
that.
elitist.
Yeah, and for me, it just depends on what kind of game I'm playing. If I rather play it on PC or console.
Yeah, and do I just want to chill out with my buds and fucking
Right.
get that couch experience going?
Yep.
So it doesn't matter PC, console. It's just the
Yeah, just
people
have fun with
who.
games.
It's just the people who cling to the PC that's the problem. Understand.
Yeah,
Completely agree.
yeah, agreed. So yeah, if you want to switch up to our video games art, that's fine. I got another like 20 minutes at least. I might have to do some work, but
Yeah, I don't think we have too far to go on this subject. But yeah, I mean, it depends on the games. All things can be art. This is why I brought up walking simulators earlier. Walking simulators are just like giant art simulations, in my opinion. That's why anyone cares about them. Generally, they are loose on storyline. They have a very simple, basic storyline, no gameplay. The only sake they can be there is for art. And granted, a lot of them, from what I know, are fairly bad, but there's a couple standouts among them. Like what happened to Edith Finch. I got that for free on the PlayStation Store, and that was a beautiful story. No action, maybe a puzzle or two that was annoying, but it was passable. I hear Firewatch or something like that was pretty good.
oh yeah. I meant to play that actually.
There's some
Firewatch.
interesting platformers, which aren't quite. Oh, also another free thing I got on PlayStation Plus for free. Oh, not Death Stranding. That's popping into my head. It's something where you pretty much are in modern day. You get a brain scan and you wake up in an underwater base.
I don't know what that is.
Well, I'm
Bill,
gonna look
are
that-
video games art?
I mean, I wouldn't call them fine art, but I think in the same way that any media can be art, like film and that kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that you can make some pretty good. I mean, it's what I kind of started my college career doing. You can make some pretty cool, detailed 3D, what I would call art, So I feel like it depends on the game, like Brian was saying too, like, because some games are, I don't know if you're going to label Madden art, you know what I mean? Maybe you would, I don't know. But some of these games, I feel like the developers do put a lot of time and effort into making them more artistic, with not only with the graphics but the story.
Totally agree. Compelling characters, intricate relationships. Obviously, don't get that, like you said, with every game, but the ones that put the effort in usually do a really good job.
Yeah.
Has a video game ever made you cry, not because you were losing and frustrated, but because of the storyline or anything?
Well, I'm a manly man, so nothing makes me cry.
I'm
mean,
a pussy. I cry pretty easily.
I've been
Well,
upset, when certain
yeah.
characters die.
Final
But
Fantasy VII,
Yeah.
Aerith, the remake reminded me of that. I get teary-eyed in some moments, but they've had impacts.
Like I think that it doesn't seem, for some reason, that now that you ask that, it doesn't have as big of an impact as movies do, for me anyway.
I'd agree.
What about
I
the
don't know
choose
why.
your own adventure games? Like, have you ever played the Tall Tale games, like The Walking Dead? I played it. Wasn't for me.
Well, I think one of the biggest, to go back to the film to video games comparison, you have to jam a lot of content in 2 hours or whatever with a movie, right? So
Yeah.
you kind of have to take the people on a roller coaster of emotion. With video games, you
Yeah.
might have 20 or 40 hours to fill. So,
Yeah, so there's more time to kind of build up things or stretch it out. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I have. I mean, again, I cried watching The Princess Bride one time. So, not Princess Bride. Princess Diaries. That's the one. Princess Diaries. Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't have
I mean, if
figured
you-
you for a Princess Diary 2 man.
It was
If you
on
don't-
TV.
If you don't cry at the beginning of Up, you're a monster.
Fair. Yeah. But
Just
that
go throw
said,
that out there. So, you know,
I don't know that a video game has ever made me cry because of
not
a.
that I can think of. Yeah, me either.
I got choked up, I think, booting up Diablo 3 just because I was waiting for so long.
Yeah.
What about crafting games? You can almost, like Minecraft, you can almost make your own art in some of these games.
Oh man, it's so impressive. That's another one that I look at. And I'm like, where do people find the fucking time, man? It's impressive what people have done in Minecraft in terms of building a replica of Westeros or King's Landing and the different portraits that they put together just with these pixelated blocks. Man, it's well, that's what a picture is, right? So
Yeah.
Yep.
it's fascinating.
Yep.
The creativity, that the games allow you to do is it's pretty impressive.
But back to the auteur, pretty much, of video games. What do you guys think of people like David Lynch and Kojima? I mean, are there any more of them out there? Big names who are known for a certain style.
Whoever wrote Portal.
Portal? Okay.
Yeah, they have a reputation. I don't know his name. Let me see.
Well, it can't be that impressive. As I said, a lot of it's becoming AAA games by the numbers because they have the most mass appeal.
Yeah, no, I don't. I can't think of many singular figures in video games that.
Miyamoto, you know,
Oh,
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
I mean,
Yeah.
That dreaded company that I keep disparaging, except for Zelda.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I mean, it's all of Legend of Zelda and Mario and that kind of thing, all kind of owe their start to him.
I'm looking at this Wikipedia page, and it's calling the Make-A-Wish Foundation the Take-A-Wish Foundation. It's a completely different spin on it. Completely unrelated, I'm sorry. Take-A-Wish.
How
Take
dare
someone's wish
you
away.
completely just segue to something completely absurd and asinine? You expect that from me, not you, Mike. I expect better of you, Mike.
Aw, Brian. Sweet of you to say.
I just wanted to get that out of there. Randomness is my job, not yours. Final Fantasy also has a lore history. I think you could consider it. Like, you want to know why 8? My personal favorite? Well, one is different. The draw system was quite different. But the story got me heavily invested. That was why 6 and 7 had intricate stories and decent gameplay, at least for its time. A little bit dated now, both of them. So is 8 at this case, but it was really just the artwork. That was the best looking PS game that I've ever seen. It better be fucking good. It was on 4 fucking discs.
Can we all just agree that no matter what the media is, cell shading is crap?
Oh, I want to agree. Visually, it sometimes works. Dark Cloud 2. It's the only thing I'll say. It could have been the story, it could have been the characters. It fit the cartoony style of that, but unless you're going for a cartoony, weird, almost animated feel, very few things can pull off cell shading. I'll agree with
Even
you on
then,
that.
I just, oh, God.
Dark
To
Cloud
me, it
2,
just-
you didn't love that game? The style,
Just-
it also fit the mood. You also have to have the right mood. It's a little bit damp and muted in color. Cell shading overall does not suit a well suited color palette. Even bright colors like blue look like crap. If that's what you want to do for characters like villains.
Yeah, I mean, Dark Cloud worked all right. I hated the new Ninja Turtles and Wind Waker. Oh God, I couldn't stand what they did with that. It just
I agree. They tried to make it bright, but bright does not work with cell shading, in my opinion. That's why I said Dark Cloud was probably the only game that I would say pulled it off effectively.
I liked that movie, A Scanner Darkly. They
Yeah,
had some cell shading
Yeah,
effects.
no, but that was stylistic.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was a little different, I think.
That was for a factor, and it's not a game, mice. Remember, we're talking about games, Mike.
Well, Bill said any medium.
Okay, good.
Well, I meant because like now they've cell shaded a lot of cartoons, which is annoying to me.
I
Yeah.
think the CG is really getting rampant just because it's so cheap to make. They destroyed one of my favorite mangas with a new edition, Berserk. Got a re-release. I enjoyed the content, but the animation was god awful. It was almost cell shaded, and the CG is very similar to. You guys see this rampant increase in cell shading?
Yeah, because I feel like it's easier to animate.
Mm. I think that's the reason why. I
I
don't know if.
kind of. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't know if it's this CG, all this CG going on, like with a lot of Netflix animated originals, are considered cell shading, but still the CG looks like crap, and that's all I have to say on that subject.
I could be wrong, but I kind of feel like cell shading died out a little bit. It was kind of everywhere at first.
Yeah, but now they've gone to just more like cheap computer animation for most stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why we're in the subject matter, Persona 5 really, I think that's a work of art. You play that game, you watch videos of it, it's so stylish. It's still just turn-based combat. It's the same old mechanics, but just the way they pull off transitions, wipes, even just everything about that. No wonder they took so long. It was so stylish. I could understand that. There's certain games that should be considered art, and that's probably one of the more recent ones. But I'm also Shin Megumi Tensei fanboy a little bit, so I might be a little biased on it.
Do you love your Persona games?
Oh, Persona. Persona's the best. I have a Persona where all I do is talk about Persona. It's a rather annoying Persona to deal with, so
It is.
sorry about that, gentlemen. You got to deal with an annoying person generally being even more annoying in the Persona loving Persona.
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 Yeah,
Does
ultimately, I
anyone-
think it's.
I mean, has anyone played the new Zelda game? I haven't actually played. I've seen it.
Breath
I
of the
have
Wild?
not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have a Switch, so would you consider that art? Is it stylish?
Yeah, you could probably consider games like that art. Yeah.
What
Yeah, I
would
think
you?
I feel like there's different levels to it. You have like the stylistic level that is obviously takes some artistic ability, but then also, like Bill said earlier, the character writing, character development, telling a good story. You know,
Yeah.
Okay, what games can you think of that we would not consider art?
well, Madden was a good one. Madden,
Yeah.
FIFA.
You know, all those
Shooters.
mass-produced pieces of shit.
Yeah, a lot of shooters. I would not consider Counter Strike art, and you know, as we've established many times, that's like it's my jam.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, games that stray away from storyline, I guess, are the most likely contenders. Like there was also a really artistic. I'm not promoting Nintendo at all, but it was Okami. It was like the wolf with the brush. I'm pretty sure
Yep.
it had a sequel. Never played it, but just seeing demos and videos of it, I'm like, that's one stylish game. There's also a really successful, underrated game that, scary enough, I'd never played. Psychonauts.
oh yeah, Psychonauts.
Yep.
I hear great things about it. Great writing, interesting design decisions. People don't really talk about the gameplay. I'm sure it's there for it to be so hyped, but still underrated.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's indisputable. I mean, obviously, like again, and it's not high art. You know, it's not fucking
No.
Citizen Kane or whatever.
I would argue against something like Persona 5. It's pretty high out there. Not the highest art, but talking about art, you have some of these crappy artists like throw in like a dot in the middle of a white canvas and trying to pass that off as art. Selling trash, putting trash together. The concept of art is in the some sort of mind. I don't know.
Taping a banana to a canvas.
Really?
Let me see it. Yeah.
I've not heard that.
You haven't heard that story? Yeah. So that happened recently where it sold for like a ridiculous amount of money. It was just a banana, like duct taped to a canvas.
And then someone ate it or something.
Yeah. Everybody freaked out because someone walked up and ate it, and they just duct taped another like banana over it.
Oh god.
It's like $60,000 or something.
It was something way up there. Ridiculous amount.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, some of this art crap is just ridiculous. So if games ain't art, some art out there ain't art.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get someone that hasn't sat down and played a story-driven video game in their life. I do understand, now looking at it from the third person, why someone would not agree with games being art, you know? Like if your only exposure is, oh, my son sits in his room and plays Call of Duty all day.
Yeah.
That's not, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We've covered a lot of video games today. Anything else you guys want to cut before we cut this out?
I think we're good.
Out. Okay, take us out, Mike. Mic drop.
Well, we've had some fun, haven't we? We appreciate everyone, quote, everyone coming with us on this live journey.
You're welcome.
This was a test, just a test, folks. But I'll post it up later if it doesn't pop up in its own.
Yeah, something new. Why not? This is not just a video game channel. I know you may have that impression from the last 2 weeks of content, but we kind of felt like a lot of these themes worked together. Boop, boop, ba-doop. Hope everyone's staying safe in the wasteland out there. Take it seriously. And catch us here every Tuesday and Friday for a little entertainment while you're stuck in the house. Anything else anyone wants to
And don't
mention?
remember to dislike and leave in the comments how bad our taste in all this shit is.
See you next time. Bye.